mean, I love surprises.
You love surprises?
Let me see what my wife got for me today.
So today I'm interviewing you.
Is it?
Can I interview you?
That's a surprise.
Yeah, that's a surprise. That's
This
a
is the
surprise.
problem,
I want
yeah,
to
you know.
interview. I want to interview him.
I mean, this can come with pros and cons, but yeah, you can go ahead. I mean, no problem. What is it that you have for me today?
From a guy's perspective, you are one person, like you've always been saying that you are OG, meaning you've played enough and you've retired now, but that doesn't mean you have forgotten the game.
Okay.
You know, even though the game has changed now, it's not the same, but yeah, the basics are still the same.
Yeah, the basic is always the same.
Yeah. So I would like to know from you, what is wife material? Because you hear that so and so is not wife material, or you hear, I mean, you know, like guys talking conversations.
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, different guys have different, you know, way how they view, let's say, like you said, a wife material. When we use that classification, it's mostly to like, you're describing the person, you're describing the girl, and like, I mean, how would I put it now? Like, you're not gonna take, let's say, because again, everybody has different standards. You know, let's say your standard is meeting, you know, you want, like, you see somebody that works in the office, you know, dressed nice, you know, you see those type of people as, you know, like a wife material.
The one in corporate.
Right. You know, you probably have people that are okay with these ones that, you know, just put on them short shorts and, you know, just
them body rider,
them makeup done properly and stuff. You know, and then you have people with just the personality. Like, you know, just by being around this person, you know, it makes this person like
a wife material. But what is that? What characteristics do you look for in a woman that can qualify them to be a wife? I
mean, I just explained the basic of it, because classifying somebody as wife material, you're looking for certain qualifications
based on what you like. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not a matter, it's not a set standard. You know, right? Because everybody has different tastes, different feeling, you know, all that stuff. You know, what I would find ugly, somebody find it pretty. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's gonna, you know, find that out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So everybody choose that based off what they like, what they don't like, you know, stuff like that. You know, so I mean, that's how it comes down to. I mean, like I said, it can't just be a personality. You know, it can just be how you look, because some people just go after looks, but then you find you bring home a pretty girl and she can't even cook. So I mean, you know, like, I mean, like, so I mean, they're different characters.
So can wife material not be able to cook?
I mean,
what is the most important thing in, for example, I said I'm interviewing you today.
Yeah, but
what is the most important thing that you look for? Is it the bedroom, or is it the kitchen, or is it the house turning into a home?
So since you're talking to me now, you said you're interviewing.
Yes, I'm interviewing you.
My perspective. Then.
Yes, on behalf of some of the guys as well, like in general.
I mean, in a case like this, like I said, with the whole wife perspective, I can't talk in general. Because the basic, which is everybody has a different taste, a different feel. So there's no basic foundation to what you look for in a wife material. If I am speaking for myself now, then I mean, like, again, since you're interviewing me,
yes, I am.
I look for certain characteristics. I'm not really like a fussy person when it comes down to like certain things that some people would consider as basic, or they would want it because of how I was raised. I mean, there are a lot of stuff that I can do for myself. So a woman literally doesn't hold anything over me per se, unless I allow it. You know what I'm saying? So so in my case, when I'm looking for somebody who's, you know, qualified, or I would classify as like you said, the wife material. I mean, I look for like I look for certain personalities. I mean, the looks is a bonus.
Okay.
Especially when it's natural.
Okay.
Like my wife is just naturally beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I've had instances. I mean, sometimes you're gonna lay down. Have you ever met a girl in the club? Yeah, that's for another time. When you bring her home. But anyway, like I look for certain stuff. It's a bonus if you can cook, because then a man needs to feel that type of love. They always say that, I mean, whatever, they have these whole saying, but not all of them really are accurate. But I mean, I love when a woman can cook.
Okay.
And I mean, if you can't cook, like, I mean, like when you look at, like, say, where my wife is concerned, we're from two different genres, two different cultures, so it doesn't mean when I met her she couldn't cook, but she prepares stuff that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
And then I would prepare stuff that she's not familiar with. So what we did, we found a way to blend that together. I teach her how to make a lot of, like our cuisines and stuff like that. And then she would, do the same on her side. So, which we've turned out really perfectly well in terms of on our side.
I cook better than you now. I mean, guys, my husband can cook. I mean, he can throw it down in the kitchen.
But I mean, like,
and in the bedroom,
there are certain things definitely that's a need, because I mean, like certain basic needs you're gonna need. I think it comes with any basic relationship that you're gonna classify. Like, you find yourself settling with somebody, naturally, automatically, I should say, you're looking for certain things. Because if you're short on certain things, then this is where the other side comes in, where you're forced to either think outside the box, or because if you can't provide certain things to me, what is the sense then, or what am I gonna do to replace that?
Yeah,
but especially if it's a need. I'm not talking
if it's a need. Yeah,
wants is different. There are certain needs that need to be met. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say need, it has to be important.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about petty stuff. Stuff that you can actually do. Like, if you don't cook, then, for example, or let's say you cook, but you're not a top chef, then I'll help you in the kitchen. We'll make it work. We'll make it balance. The looks part, I think, and hygiene again.
Hygiene as well is
a very important. You see, that's a need again.
Okay.
Because you meet somebody that's pretty, but then have certain criteria, but then the hygiene side, I mean, if you find a way that you can fix it again, it's important for you to fix it. But these are basic stuff that you look for within like, fitting somebody in that category. You want somebody that you can show off each other, and you guys can share ideas and stuff like that. So if you see something wrong with me, like, let's say, we have different tastes and all of that, we have that understanding, but you're supposed to can know that if you see that I'm wearing something then and it's broken, you're not gonna allow me to just wear it, or go on.
Yeah, if something is torn, and
there has to be that understanding. Not just go ahead and say, oh, he said he's his own big man, whatever it is. So I mean, the sexual side of it, it's very important. We've spoken about this in other episodes. So important, sex plays a very important role in any relationship.
Speaking of sex, I've heard certain situations where you hear that a guy would say, hence it's still in the topic of wife material, you hear men saying there are certain things that his wife is not supposed to do, but he would rather get that from outside. So this boils down to also the wife material side, that you, like you're saying, people are different. People are different. But I think now, looking at how modern the world is now and how a lot of men have evolved and women, we are in a situation where, or in a world where, men would prefer, I'm assuming, or would you help me with that, where men would prefer a one-stop shop from the wife, or the olden days where they would have a wife at home only to be making babies and taking care of the house, and then while they go outside to do certain things that they say, not because the wife will not do, but they do not want their wife to do.
Well, I mean, apart from the fact that some guys don't want their wife to do certain things, there's certain things that wife, like, again, you put it to them, they're not going to do it. They'll tell us straight up they don't want to try. You know, but then you have the other side where, as they said, you have guys, for example, that, you know, that don't want their, I believe in having everything at home. Because if I don't have everything at home, I'm going to need to go outside. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a need. I'm not talking about a want. I mean, like, again, if you don't cook, I can cook. If you don't do the laundry, I can do the laundry. These are in-house stuff.
Yeah.
But if you don't give me sex, I can't give myself sex.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? I mean, there's no full satisfaction in terms of with masturbating and all that stuff. You need to have actual sex to be certain kind of way satisfied.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't give me these needs, I'm going to need to get it.
So would you marry someone who's only good in sex and cannot provide anything else?
I mean,
and they're not willing to even learn to cook.
No, you see, I love what you finish it there, because if they were willing to learn or to do it, then I'm good with that. But if they're not willing, then I don't find myself with that person. That's not somebody who falls under my category. Then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, you know, so it's different reasons for certain stuff. And, you know, everybody has different, like some stuff that I see some guys settle with, I mean, I wouldn't settle with. But like you said, there are some things that some guy, like for example, there are guys that don't want their woman or their wife at home then to say give them a blowjob.
Yeah.
But then you find that the girls outside, they allow the girls outside to
do it to them.
I think on a hygienic perspective, it's also not healthy, because I mean, your mouth is like, I mean, like someone's mouth then, for example, is very sensitive, it's very delicate, it carries a lot of bacteria as well. You know, it can produce bacteria, it can, you know, contract bacteria and stuff like this. So for you to be getting it done outside, there are ways that there are stuff that you can get out from outside then, and it's fun because then you're gonna bring it, because you're still having sex with this person at home. Yeah. So there are stuff that you're probably gonna be bringing home, you know, that's coming from outside. That's coming from outside. So I mean, I believe in, like, again, everybody's different, you know, and then you say we're living in a modern world as well. I mean, I believe in having everything at home. Okay. Especially, let's say when I met you, you didn't come with everything that I had, you know, required, but you had the main, you know, characteristics and stuff. But then you are willing to learn, to adjust and all these stuff. You know, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? The problem is when you're not willing to learn or to adjust. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, in fairness, I want to have everything at home. Okay. Because if I can't have everything at home, and I think sometimes culture plays a very, very big role in terms of some of the decisions that we make and stuff like that.
That's actually true.
So you would find that, like, you know, like, you have your wife at home and she goes on you, for example, then, right? But then you find that you're gonna have to kiss your wife as well. So from certain cultural perspective, like, I mean, I'm from a culture where it's how should I put it now? It's getting better now in terms of how people look on it, because I think people are traveling now, people are having more experience. Yeah. They're exposed now. They're exposed now. Yes. You're having interracial couples, you know, all these stuff. So it's kind of different now. But I remember in the days when, oh my God, man, if people know that you do certain things, like if a guy would
go down on his wife,
you know, or if a girl,
you looked at sideways.
Oh my God, man. And it's funny because these stuff that used to be a problem, like in those eras, it's the norm now. It's a plus. Like if you have a girl and she's not doing certain things right now, it's like,
Yeah. Speaking of, if you have a girl and she's not doing certain things, do you guys, like, as guys, do like as friends or whatever? Is there any influence coming from, like, let's say you're part of a crew, right? As guys, is there an influence that comes from the other friends or guys in terms of how to choose a woman? Do you guys?
Sometimes, because I mean, but then again, it boils down to the type of person that you are. Because your friend can like a browning, for example, somebody who's clear skin, light skin, but you like a dark skinned girl.
You know,
so it can be, but you know, sometimes what it does sometimes in terms of having peers, it plays like a competitive role. Like, you know, you compete with each other, especially when you're younger. I mean, not the older guys. I mean, maybe, but you find this mostly like with the younger guys. And it's competition where it's known. It's not like you're hiding it from each other. You went ahead and get a browning, I'm getting a browning too. You have one with a big bump, I'm getting one with a bigger bump. You know, it's ego.
It's ego to see, okay, who can do better.
It's like you're competing, but it's not like you guys are fighting or, you know, having all that cling and stuff like that. You know, your friend will say, oh my God, yo, you get the browning to that, you know, stuff like that. I mean, you know, you're probably ending up meeting somebody that, I mean, I've seen that. Whereas I remember again, you know, like when I was younger, I mean, there was this girl that every guy wanted. Like, I mean, like, she was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, every guy, and because guys always think that like certain things is the only thing that can get a girl. Like, if you drive, if you have money. And it's funny, I was the simplest guy around. And like I said the least amount of stuff. And who you think the girl like? You know, just naturally.
Yeah.
Because
you're a smooth criminal.
Well, I mean, I'm considered as a criminal now.
I mean, in that way, I don't mean like
it's not that it's just smooth. You know, again, you know, there are certain times like again, you know, you be coming around people with certain things, with the nice cars and stuff like that. Not everybody is fascinated by
those things. Yes.
Like with me, I don't get starstruck when I see certain people. I can't. Doesn't mean that I don't admire them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I don't get that starstruck. It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, for me, it just
you keep your composure.
Yeah, you just keep your composure and just be cool. You know, some people, oh my God, they get a browning. Oh my God, you can't tell them nothing. You know, so I mean,
what is a browning?
Like a light skin.
Yellow bone.
I use cultural terms here.
Yeah. I'm saying that so that those that don't understand, don't know your culture, at least can understand. So you talking about yellow bone?
It's somebody that's light skin. It doesn't have to be like somebody that's like considered as because we have browning and you have whitey. Like you would consider somebody as white as a whitey or whatever.
Yeah.
Browning is like a light skin person.
Okay.
You know, sometimes it's so light that it's actually brown. Like, you know, you know, so that was popular back in my days. You know,
and that pushed a lot of women to bleach.
Yeah. That's one of the things that pushed. Oh my God, bleaching got so popular one at the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's because again, it was the demand for certain. But I'm good with my, like, you know, like black, whatever you want to call it, pigment, or I'm good with that.
That melanin. It's called what? Melanin.
You know, for me personally, and then again, you know, it's a perspective, the personalities and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's a plus.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give me certain things as a wife or as a girlfriend, I'm gonna be going out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a need. And if I find myself have to be going out there, then I don't see the sense of us having this. Because if every time I'm gonna need sex, I'm gonna have to go link the side chick. You might as well live with the side chick.
You might as well just step outside and go live with the side chick, which is what I don't understand, why people would continue in a miserable marriage.
It's a balance.
Instead of just stepping, if you're going to step outside, why don't you just pack and go?
No, because again, it's a balance. Sometimes that people look on it from I think it's just a minor plays with us sometimes, because you're looking at it to say it's a balance, because you find that the one at home, for example, you're getting, let's say, financial assistance, but then you're getting a proper sex out there. There are people that they can't choose. They try to keep it balanced.
Okay.
And I know that because of stuff that I've done. I used to have people that take care of certain bills, something like, my financial side. Then I would have somebody on the sexual side, and then I would be booking to a hotel. You have somebody that, what I'm saying? You have people, that's if you're in that world. If you ended up like in the spot that I'm in now, whereas I'm blessed to have everything. I have my whole family, which is why, like, I'm so happy that, like when we start having kids and stuff, like, the first child that God blessed me with was a girl. That was an eye-opener for me. So
I was about to ask you what made you, as a guy, when exactly did that light bulb go on to say, what? This is it. You gotta start acting right.
I mean, God blessed me with like my first child. My first child was a girl. And I look at it and I'm like, God, what are you doing to me? Because at this time I was about, like, that time you're young, you go into the clubs, you go into, oh my God, I would just be gone for a weekend. When we used to be team no sleep, like, we used to just get basic sleep. We used to go out every night and we have work the following morning, that type of life. But you used to just be, the fun stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then when start having kids now, then, the girl come about first. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only guy out there like this. But then it's funny because, the transition wasn't as smooth as I had expected it to be, because there were a lot of challenges. And I think God puts it like that so you can, it's like you have to sacrifice something.
Yes.
Because I mean, I sacrificed a lot to get to where I'm at now. Like when I had to drop that whole life, that's a whole different life compared to what I'm living now.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh my God, you start having kids, you're gonna start have a family. Your kids gonna look at you. I started growing up that time and stuff. So I started looking at things different. So that's when the light bulb went off and I said, no, I have to change this. And that's when everything actually started crumbling to the point where at one point I felt like just reversing it. I just go back to my old ways. But then I look at my daughter at the time and then look at it. I ended up with 4 girls. So I mean,
it's a sign.
It must be a sign. So I mean, they were, oh my God, things just start tumbling down. When I mean tumbling down, imagine you moving from a player lifestyle to this settled, oh my God, like it wasn't a easy transition. But I decided that what I was doing wasn't for me anymore, because this is not about me anymore.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? So I made the decision to just, oh my God, at that time, oh my God, I could have even lost my wife during this whole process too. Like, like, because like, you giving up, remember now, you're giving up stuff, and I mean, you that's when everything started crumbling. That's when people start finding out about each other. That's when all these stuff start coming down. And if you don't know how to play your cards right, I had let go of everything and decided that whatever gonna happen. This is the life that I want. Luckily I was blessed to have a wife like the one that I have here who understands a lot of that.
Okay, baby. Yeah, you're giving me compliments. You see, I love you. That's why I'm wearing your shirt. I'm actually wearing his shirt today.
I mean, for real, we've had instances where, she could have just packed her bag and, just go. But, I think she saw not just the potential, but she saw what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know, when you want to, you actually want to stop doing certain things. You have to have those encouragement, because if nobody, you believe in yourself, but you have to let people believe it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I think in that instance, like you're saying, I saw the potential. I saw the work you were putting in. It wasn't easy, obviously.
Yeah, my God, it was crumbling.
Yeah, but you were willing, like you said.
Yeah.
Are you willing to learn? You were willing to put in the work for me and for the life that we were building, that we're planning, we're trying to build, and it wasn't easy. But the fact that no matter what, you put my feelings first, you put my opinions first. I will tell you something and you will consider it. Because I think most men, the mistake they make is not paying attention and not listening to what the partner says. Like if your woman says something, you need to listen and understand and act on it. So you want to be with someone who considers your feelings, who considers how you look at things as well. You're like, okay, baby, I don't like how this is going, and it's hurting me because of this.
Yeah, you have to pay attention. Man.
Yes, and if you are a man and you don't consider that, you're like, oh, okay, you let your ego play, then that means you're gonna end up losing that person or getting played.
Right. That's the sad part about it. You know, when I saw the road that I was going on, at one point I thought I was gonna lose everything, to be honest with you. But then I said, you know what? It's worth a try, because if I don't try it, how am I gonna know exactly, what's gonna become of this whole venture that I'm making? Kids are involved now. I'm not by myself no more. All these stuff. So what's the life that I wanna portray for my kids? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I'm blessed to say that I and that's the thing. It's not like I'm lacking or shorting or wanted to experience certain things because of my experience. Like, I'm so happy that during my younger days, I made use of it.
Yes.
Like, I
think that's important as well. It's very, very important.
I had mad experience, because when you grow up not having certain experiences, and then you want to experience those stuff
at a later age, it's a problem.
It can be a real problem.
Like I've said, I've always believed that as a woman, you have to go through a serious heartbreak at some point in your life. If you don't, if you haven't gone through it, it's coming. You understand? I could be wrong, but I always feel like at some point, every woman has to experience that heavy heartbreak at some point.
It opens your brain to a wider space, because most of the time when we have these heartbreaks is when we are locked into this one, like, only person which is the one in front of us.
Yeah, but it's better if you go through that when you're younger, because as you get older, then you know how to maneuver yourself, and you know how to deal with it, certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the moment you start seeing the signs,
yes, you know how to address it immediately and say, babe, this is not going to end well. You got to stop that, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you do not know better, you don't know, you are in the dark, and then it comes to you as a ton of bricks. And if you did not expect that, if you see it at a young age, you go through that at a young age. Anything that happens after that, you're smart.
I mean,
you're open to
it. You're open to it, which is why I always say that experience teaches no wisdom. Because I mean, it doesn't mean that the first heartbreak that I had was okay.
No, there's no heartbreak that's okay.
It paved the way for how I look at things now. How, I'm more experienced now. So
and how to spot the signs as well.
Signs and all of that. So I mean, these are all necessary and stuff like that. It's good to have experiences. I mean, I'm so happy that I enjoyed, like I said, most of my life. I don't know which genre, because I've had so many experiences in so many fields. I've played music. I've had mad experience where
you've lived.
I've lived. So like now, I look at my life now. Whereas I'm chilled. I'm happy.
You're not missing out on anything because you've experienced it.
So when I see my guys, still going to the clubs, for example. Come on, man, I've done trillions of that.
That's another thing I want to ask. The last question is, now as a married man, do you, like with you guys, like amongst yourselves, like, do you guys get to a point where you kind of lose certain friends because of certain behaviors that you say, okay, I'm not going to associate this anymore?
I mean, you don't have to say, let's say, like lose them per se, but then the venture gets different because you guys have you guys branch off to two different avenues.
Yeah.
You know, he's still going to the club. I'm married and I'm settled home. There's no way you can balance those two.
Okay.
Then that would mean every minute I'm gonna have to be leaving my house, my wife, to say I'm going out with the boys, you know, which can lead to another thing, you know, because the wife gonna be at home by herself. She's gonna get lonely too, you know. And trust me, there's always somebody lurking. I mean, there's always an opportunity there. Like, I mean, the moment you mess up, like the moment you didn't remember to text her, trust me, she'll find that person that texts her from a month ago or whatever it is and just reply. Because the guys always normally are, the moment you see a reply, you're gonna act on it immediately. You know what I'm saying? So again, like, you have to, I still have a lot of friends that are not married, but then we have boundaries.
Okay.
You know, there are certain things that that I can advise them on in terms of if they're planning on venturing my role, because I've experienced it.
Yeah.
But then I can also advise them even on their role, because I mean, I've been that side before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but we can't hang out together, like hang out, real hang out. Like, we can, like, now and then, probably if it's just something simple or whatever it is.
Okay.
But I won't find myself going to like a party and then it just like I said, like, it's putting me in the way of risk. Like,
like
I see people just be going on vacation with their friends. I saw one guy just went on vacation, said he was going on vacation with his friends, and you know, that opened door to a lot of stuff. You know, he ended up
do the friends,
and then the friends are single.
Okay. Do the friends try to, like, as a married guy, have you experienced that, or maybe have you been exposed to that even prior to being married, maybe in a certain way someone was married and then you guys were not married yet? Like, do the friends kind of like try to hook you up with some girls even though they know you're married?
Well, I mean, it's natural. It's just like, you know, your friends know that you're married, for example, as a female, and they'll still try to hook you up on somebody,
with some guy.
You know what I'm saying? So the question that they're asking is that it leads down to you, the individual, because me being the individual that I am,
you have to make that decision.
Right? I'm gonna make the decision. I know I'm not gonna come with you guys. You guys can always go. I mean, I always tell my boys, like, sometimes they will invite me on certain things, and I'm like, yo,
I'm not like you guys no more.
I'm not like you guys. I have a whole family. I can't
go with you.
I mean, it doesn't mean that I can't do certain things, and I made that clear to them. But one thing is that I respect my household.
Yeah,
I respect my marriage as well, because it's like, you know, like I always tell her that, you see, every time I think about doing something, like something, whether it's like something bad, then even if the idea pops in her head, it's like I see God looking at me.
I'm saying, don't you dare.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, you know, I mean, that's something that we have to talk about as well in another one. So
okay.
You know, but I mean,
Thank you for talking to me and opening up. It's been a great pleasure having you on this podcast.
Yes,
it's been a great pleasure interviewing you, Mr. Nemad. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest and giving us your perspective where the men are concerned.
Yes, well, and also most importantly, where I am concerned.
Oh, where you're excuse me, he's talking for himself.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, where he's
Like
concerned.
I stated from the beginning, everyone is different. Everyone has different tastes, different genres, different. You know what I'm saying? There's no basic foundation in terms of what you look for in terms of like a wife material. Everybody go by looks, they go by class, they go by culture, they go by
finance. So some people don't want women who work. Some want a woman that works.
One woman will tell her, look on you straight up and tell her, so they don't want any broke man. And I'm always surprised by that thing, you know, because it fitted that most women don't understand the concept of rich guys, right? Somebody that's doing a 9 to 5 is more willing to take proper care of you, not just a one-time take care of you, like to take care of you, make sure you eat before you go. More than somebody who's sitting on
billions and billions.
Because most people don't understand this. People that are in the finance world, the only thing they see is their money.
It comes first before anything else.
So if their money is not making money, it's not going to make sense to them. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean they won't spoil you. They'll buy you something nice one time, 2 times. You know, there are a few times when you probably get certain things and you.
But
personality-wise, like if you're looking for that whole, to say, look for
affectionate, romantic.
You're gonna be. That's my because I always hear women say that. Like I would see women head get turned by a nice flashy car, you know, and then you find out. I mean, like you look at. It's funny because most of the time people who actually drive a flashy car, they don't even have money. So most of the time, not all the time.
Yeah.
Because the real money giants that I know,
they don't flash it.
They don't even. They have a Toyota Corolla. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah.
People who have wealth, like, you know, like basic wealth, like you said, you know, they come across certain money, they're gonna spoil themselves, buy themselves a new Bugatti, Ferrari, you name it, you know. But people that are sitting on mad wealth, they ain't gonna drive none of that. We've seen that they're not gonna wear some of these chains, they're not gonna wear some of these watches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen that happen to so many people where it places them on target. You know, I've seen a lot of rappers got killed like that just because they're targeted.
Yeah. You know, based off of what they put out there.
Plus based off of how they dress.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. But that's about it from my side. Is there anything else?
No, that is all. Thank you so much. You answered all my.
You wanna know my?
What size? What size? What are you talking? Your shoe size?
Nah.
What's your size?
I was checking to see if you wanted more, if you had any more questions, but that's okay.
You said I want to know your size in terms of what? This guy.
She says she doesn't have any more questions. She
I don't have any more. He's getting too personal.
She have all the answers for all the other questions. So yeah. So,
baby,
it was
thank
my pleasure, though.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering the questions with. Thank you for not taking my questions personally like that. To say, okay, am I under attack? Thank you so much for just, you know, going with the flow. And you didn't know what I was going to do today. I said, I've got a surprise for you. And you just played right into it. And I thank you so much for that. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on Yacht Connection Podcast today. And for myself, Kiki Nemad, he wasn't doing anything today. He was just answering questions. And my guest, Kevin Nemad, we out.
Peace.